Hello YouTube, SentinalhMC here, back with Salentia for more ShadowChapter Let's Play.
Hello.
Hello, yes. So Nathan isn't feeling well today, so we're here and still searching for diamonds.
And I luckily am feeling better, so I was able to record.
Yes, that's quite good. I, however, need to make myself a new pick because I have no pick.
Can you make two, please?
Yeah, I need to get need to chop some wood. I made another barrel for canola seeds to have like a million of them.
Ooh.
So I'm just gonna get a pickaxe. We don't have a saw, so
Rubber wood. Why have I not scanned rubber wood before?
hey, there you go. You can scan. You can chuck stuff on the floor and scan it too.
Yes. I just don't feel like going through the chest right now.
I know, right?
So what I'm doing is just gonna go through our garden right here.
What kind of materials do I even have to make some picks out of? I should probably just cook up some more HSLA steel since it's pretty good. Do I even have any iron cooked up already?
I got a block of iron.
Oh, do you know? I have some iron. Do you know how to make that into ingots?
No.
Because that was the problem last time.
Yep.
We didn't know how to make it into ingots. Usually it's just...
Watch. It's like, I'll hand it to you and see if it'll work. It'll work for you because it does not work for me.
13.
I'll hand it to you so the viewers can see if I'm just dumb or something.
So the viewers can see if you're just dumb. Oh,
yeah.
Here's a pickaxe.
Oh, yeah. Because I put it in my 2x2 square.
Oh, the block of iron. Yeah.
And nothing.
Hit you on it.
Because I don't know. Unless there's an update that forces you to do ingots now, if you want ingots, with tinkers.
Macerator, metal former, block cutting machine.
Because if so, more...
Precision laser engraving.
Because if so, we need to find gold stat because we'll need to make an ingot cast.
Yeah, you can't just craft it straight.
Yep.
Maybe you can whack it with a hammer, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe you need to put it in your crafting square on with a hammer, I don't know. But anyway, I gotta go find diamonds. So I gotta make some more torches. So, a subscriber... I'm very sorry that I don't remember your name. But you got a pony icon. So, awesome. He said that after mining the game's files, apparently the way this works is that the diamonds are most common between levels 5 and 10. So, for the most common drops, I was about 2 levels too high.
Oh, that's why we didn't see any. Yeah.
So, well, it can be at that level, but apparently at levels 5 through 10, it's more popular. And they said that was the only range where you can find just diamonds by themselves. Although I'm probably still will find graphite and something. I don't know what level gold is on, but we've found it before, so. I think it was actually pretty high up. We found gold on the surface.
Okay. The only game I had that I could play, we had life. Very rarely would my father play. Yeah, very rarely would my father play a game of life with me. And I also had ants in my pants that I played by myself a lot. So
I know somebody had. I never had ants in my pants. We had Game of Life, and we played it a lot until the spinner started breaking. But then we got they made a really good version of the Game of Life on the PC for back in the day. It was really good. And the more recent versions of Game of Life, not as good. Because it was basically just a straight-up port of the game. But it was in first person. You looked at the board, but when you spun it, your view shot to your car.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a 3D board, and you'd see the car that would travel across the space, and then a voice would read out what the space is, and they had like these. Some of the spaces had a 3D animation to go along with it, and then but then they had a whole ton of these little, quite funny, humorous little single panel cartoons, and it was all narrated. So they had so much voice acting in that thing. So for a PC version of a board game, the production values were quite high because they had so much voice acting. There were so many lines, although they were all voiced by the same guy, but there were so many lines, and it was just really fun to play because you like to see all the little cartoon panels. Disney had a games service, like they had a website, right? Mm-hmm. And you could go to the website, and they had all these games, and I don't know if my parents paid a subscription for it, but we played it. They had all these games, and one of them was a game where you played as a penguin, and you had to go around this castle, jumping on various spaces in this castle, collecting brooms.
I see you.
I saw you too. I have to go back and get more torches. But the only game... There was a series of games on that service, and I forget what it was called. I think it was called like Disney... maybe it wasn't even Disney. Whatever it was this games thing. But I really thought it was called like Disney Boom or something. But it was a game series called Detective in a Jar. And I would love it if any of you guys watching this know that game. It was called Detective in a Jar, and your character was a jar full of blue liquid wearing a fedora, and he was a detective. And it was quite a good game. Like, they were these point-and-click games where you had to solve a mystery via... It was a cool game because it really, looking back on it now, I realize it was teaching kids critical thinking skills, humorously. So it was a point-and-click game where you had to like use clues to figure out what you had to do. There was one where you had to disarm a bomb, and that was really fun because I kept failing at disarming the bomb. But I remember that Detective in a Jar because I remember the intro. They would there were these they would sing, and it would be like detective in a jar, and I always loved listening to that. Because it was these different voices. Detective in a jar. It was great. I liked it a lot. But that was one of the few things we were able to do on the computer back.
The very first game I remember because my grandma got a new computer, so she gave me her old one, which is one of those ones with that you set the monitor on top of the case thing, and it didn't have any internet access. And I remember saving up pizza boxes because I forget, it's like back in the early 2000s or late 90s. There's this giveaway for a copy of Roller Coaster Tycoon, and you had to save up a certain amount of the coupons on the boxes, cut them out and everything, and you had to mail them in, and then they'd ship you the game. Okay. And oh my goodness, for like a month, I was on a box collecting spree. And every week I'd go to my grandma and be like, got any boxes? Got any boxes? And when I finally got that game in the mail, it was like heaven to me.
It's a good game, too.
So I immediately went to my room. I begged my dad to let me play it for like an hour or two. And, yeah.
That's a good game to get. Roller Coaster Tycoon. I don't remember if I bought this game or I didn't buy it. No, I sent off for it. It was a SpiderMan game. I sent off for it because there was SpiderMan cereal. I forget what brand.
Sorry, rapid clicking.
Yeah, I forget what brand of cereal they used for the SpiderMan cereal, but it was SpiderMan cereal. It might have been honeycombs that were shaped like webs. I don't remember. But if I say there was like, you have to cut the coupons out, and if you sent in a couple of these, I think it was like 8 or 10 of them. You get a Spider-Man game for computer, and it was actually quite good, I thought, and I still think it was quite good. just because of all the stuff that was in it. Because you played through it, and you fought lots of Spider-Man villains. You fought Rhino, and you fought Venom. A couple of times you fought Venom, and Black Cat was in it. And this is like one of the first. It's one of my first exposures to Spider-Man was this game. But the funny part about this game, it also had what's the name of the guy that has the fishbowl on his head? That's an M. I know that much.
My stepdad had been.
I knew this earlier because he was the wasn't he a special effects dude who then what was his name?
I don't know.
I can't remember, but he was in it. And you had to fight him, and it was like it was a boss fight that was inside of a hallucination because he had dosed Spider-Man with some sort of drug. But anyway, the game was cool. You ended up fighting Doc Ock, and then Carnage was the final boss. And it was a beat 'em up game, so it was a third-person beat 'em up. So you would go around and you punch people and fight them and stuff. The combat was actually pretty good and fun. The only annoying part about the game was fighting symbiotes because they were annoying, cheating jerks that just took a massive beating and were ridiculous. The Punisher was also in that game. You didn't fight him. He was in a cutscene, but he was there, and so the Punisher was there, and so was Daredevil. In a cutscene, Daredevil was there.
Another game that came in a cereal. Okay, there's a game that came in a cereal. Okay. It was a Captain Crunch Berry game. I played that a lot.
I think I remember that. I never had it. But I think I remember hearing about it.
I think it's actually probably still at my grandpa's house.
The game that I liked was there was a Pizza Hut game where you were flipping pizzas. Darn it, right.
Rapid clicking.
So it was a Pizza Hut game, and I'd quite like to find it actually and play it again because it was actually really fun. It was basically one of those Kaboom games where there's stuff. There was that Kaboom game where there was dropping bombs from the sky and you had to catch them in a water bucket. In this game, you control this Italian pizza chef, and you had to your assistant was constantly throwing pizza dough balls.
Bye, Bob.
He was constantly throwing pizza dough balls into the field, and you had to catch them.
Ow!
So you had to catch them, and when they landed on top of you, they bounced up into the air. And then when every time you bounced them, they became more pizza-shaped. And when you bounced them the third time, they would go off onto the conveyor belt as pizzas. And so you keep doing that, and it got pretty hectic actually because it sped up every single time. It sped up, and it would it'd be hard to do, but I got into the groove, man, and I did really good at that game. And there were power-ups and things, and it was really actually quite good. It was just silly little Pizza Hut game, but it was really quite fun because I could get into the groove, and I got to the point where I could play that game infinitely because the game never ended. The rounds just kept ticking up. You could get to something crazy like round 200, and after a certain point, it quit speeding up, and the only point of going further was just because to say you could. But I actually just played that game, as silly as it was. Played that game for hours, getting up to I think the highest I ever got was level 300.
I don't know what game it is. I'm gonna say try to explain this game, and if anyone out there of your subscribers or in the future that watches this,
ooh, I found a chipped diamond.
Ooh, nice.
Does that mean
there is a game?
Does that mean there can be diamond around here? Is that how that works?
Start doing a big search. There is a hospital game. I used to play it in the late 90s. It was kind of like a 3DS game where you were like a doctor at a clinic, and you had the patients that came in, and there was something wrong with them, and it was really detailed, and you had to find out what was wrong with them, diagnose them, and then heal them. And I just, for the life of me, cannot remember the name of it. I know, that doesn't help. Ooh, a hospital game in the 90s.
We had a...
That's all I got, though.
We had a PC version of Operation where you had to play mini games to try and...
But no, it wasn't that. It was really mature rated, because it was at a friend of mine's house, and that's the only reason I got to play it, was because it was at a friend of mine's house. And my friend's mom knew how strict my stepmom and dad were, so she'd let me play it on there.
Ooh, diamond!
And
diamond! 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 Yes, diamond's the achieve! I found a diamond! I found one diamond. Diamond. Come on, give me more diamond. Don't just have one block. You're supposed to have veins. Come on. That's a freaking bedrock right there. That's freaking... Come on. Give me more diamonds. Dang it. I found one. I found a diamond. There's just one.
And to diagnose them, you actually had the instruments there. Like, if you wanted them to poop and something so you could diagnose their poop, you'd actually have to get the utensil, hover it over them, and click on it.
Really?
Click on the patient, yeah. And to get them to pee in a cup, you had to give
what?
them...
Whoa. This sounds like a really weird...
Yeah, exactly. It was, I don't know why, but I remember playing that a lot.
Medical simulator or something.
Yeah, some type of hospital simulator, but I don't know.
That sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I had not heard of one as detailed as to have you do that.
I know. That's part of diagnosing them to find out why they're so. So I'm like...
That's interesting. I remember it was funny because I remember getting for Christmas a game called Q*bert. And now, I didn't know at the time, of course, that Q*bert dates all the way back to the Atari 2600. I just know that Q*bert was a game that I played. Now, it was one of those, it was like a new version of Q*bert. You know, we're going to like jazz it up and add all this cool new stuff. And so it was like an adventure. And there was a story mode, and so you had to get through these levels and stuff. And I really liked it. Now, the problem was that the computer was 100 megahertz. And Q*bert required, at minimum, 200. Alright, so double. And it recommended 400. Quadruple what we had. So, this tells you something about what kids will do. I mean, I had nothing else that I really wanted to play. I wanted to play Q*bert. Now, the game launched and would actually run. The whole game was just slowed down.
Yeah.
So it was running very slowly. It was like a crawl. It was just crawling along. Right?
Yep.
But I played that game. As it crawled along, I played. I mean, everything was quite slow. It wasn't so slow that it was ridiculous. Like, it didn't take, like, a minute for him to jump one block. But he was supposed to be jumping pretty quick. Because later in life, I played the game again. It was just as fun, but it was a lot faster. But I was playing that game, and it was slow, and the animations were slow. But I finished that game running, while it was running at, like, less than half the speed it was supposed to run. I went the wrong way down this tunnel. At less than half the speed that it was supposed to run at. And I was happy.
Dedication.
But okay, so I finally found a diamond. One single diamond, as well as a chipped diamond, which I'm not really sure what to do with. I know it's Greg Tech, so I have to figure out, how to make this chip.
I saw you, Creeper. I was about to say, I know you were going behind there to ambush me.
We'll have to
jerk.
Figure out how to make this chipped diamond into something useful. I think I can hit it with something and make a diamond. Or maybe I'll only get diamond dust because it's chipped. I don't know. But anyway, you said you could only do for 30 minutes, so is that...
Yep.
Okay, so
yep.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. We finally found a diamond.
Next project, finding a block of gold.
Yeah, you need to find some gold, and then we'll look at what levels the finals at. But I think we found them up on the surface here in the mountainside. But so anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. We finally found a diamond. Stick tuned for future episodes. You want to say goodbye?
See ya.
I'm SentinalhMC, and I'm signing